Well, with how I see things, it's more or less, it's like comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
In a way, because like both tracks have different characters all on its own. You know, it depends if you want to watch a night race. But I have to say, it's really in terms of like Singapore, it's more spectator friendly.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, compared to like, because like most F1 races that you get there, you don't really hear what's happening. But Singapore really made an effort to have the audio, because like
Not just you didn't just have big screens, but you actually had live audio of the feed.
and
right?
that was really good, and the way they
And that's not
promoted
normally
it.
done, would you say, in other races?
No,
it's
no, you
not.
have to buy
The
that headset,
kangaroo
yeah.
headsets.
Really, just to get the audio feed of the coverage.
If you don't have it, you see a red car pass by. You don't know if it's Kimi Raikkonen or Felipe Massa.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a red.
It really is a blur. And
Yeah.
actually, the spot where I was, the event where I was at a balcony of a mall overlooking Raffles Boulevard, and it was. They were saying, correct me if I'm wrong, the fastest stretch of the track, because that was the long straight, and it was towards the latter part of the straight. So I was presuming you've got a full head of steam. By the time we saw them, they were really just
Like,
blur,
Yeah.
like the 100 meters that we could see.
It's like the Flash.
But would you say that they set the bar, that others would really try to? Oh, you know, Singapore really made a spectacular event, not just a race. And I even heard some people saying, is Asia even thinking of making it a night race also?
There's been talks.
Yes, there's been talk, but Singapore definitely did. You know, put up like a pretty good bar right there.
And plus the fact that, I mean, street races, it just adds to the effect. I mean, as a race car driver, you probably agree with me that there are a lot of tracks that are a lot, as a racer, are a lot more technical, are a lot more, say, better than the Grand Prix in Singapore, the outline of the track. But just knowing the fact that that adds to it. I mean,
And
Monaco.
also as a fan, I guess. I mean, we walk Raffles Boulevard, and here's, you know, Raikkonen,
It's like, here's turn
Hamilton.
one.
Yeah, so they were going the other way too. It was pretty funny. You see the
actually, it was the
arrows
wrong way.
facing that way, and the cars going
They
this
were
way.
going
So
clockwise, counterclockwise.
It's a
right?
trip. It was really a trip. I mean, it's a night race. It's on the street. It's the first ever in Singapore. I mean, classic event, historical event. I was just glad to be part of it.
You said you met your former team, formerly BMW. There were pre-races, right?
Yes.
Before the F1 race. What other races were there? What categories
There
were
was
racing in?
the Porsche Carrera Cup, there was the Aston Martin, and there was the Formula BMW Asia.
All right. And
Pacific now.
what did they say about the track in itself? I mean, it's also their first time to see the track. I mean, did they
Well,
like it?
for one, it was very bumpy since it was a street race.
Yeah.
I heard even one Formula One racer that said it physically hurt to
Really?
drive
Wow.
on the track.
An F1 racer said
Actually,
okay, it hurt, huh?
actually, Robert Kubica of BMW Sauber was telling us before a day before the race that it's really a very very difficult track because it's not meant to be a racetrack.
Right.
It's really a street. You know, it's really an everyday driving.
If they
surface.
found that bumpy, try EDSA.
Exactly. imagine the F1 cars going down EDSA. That would be
Hey,
a
It would be nuts. All right, but with the amount of Pinoys you saw there, you guys, will you be back next year for sure? You think so?
Definitely.
You'll find a way to get there? Maybe you could pay your ticket this time?
100% sure I will be back in Singapore.
Do you think
for
more
the
Pinoys
second
would be
one.
interested to go?
Well, just think of it this way: the grandstand, like the Bay Area where we were, was the first tickets to be sold.
Right.
And just to think, half of that, more than half of the whole place were Pinoys.
Right.
So they took the first opportunity. We were the ones
See, yeah.
who got there first. So
To buy it online.
Yeah, I
Make
agree
sure
with
to
you.
be there.
I agree, but we need a Filipino driver.
And she
there
could be
soon,
driving next year. Is there a
see.
chance, Gabby? We can see you in the pre-race.
hopefully, actually, that's why I was there also.
All right.
There are talks. I'm crossing my fingers.
All right. So we can see Gabby in the pre-race there next year. More reason for
And
us
she
to
can
go.
give us pit
More
passes.
excuse for us to go. To work, right, Gino? Work, not pay for our own
Work.
ticket. Work. All right. Gino Rufino, Gabby delamerced. Thanks for joining us and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. More news when we come back. Stay tuned. You're watching Mornings at ANC.
Hard ball then.